Greetings, everyone. Peace and blessings. How's everybody doing today? Happy Wednesday. Today is the day that Mercury rules, and today Mercury is at the 20th degree of Virgo. Mercury moves so quickly, but before I talk about Mercury and where it is today, I just want to say that, God, the energy is so profoundly intense. I'm so curious how you guys are doing, honestly, because I'm just having the most profound experience, but I have a lot of intense astrology. So before I get started talking about, he said the moon in Taurus. The moon is not, is the moon in Taurus right now? Yes, the moon is in Taurus. The moon is in Taurus, absolutely. Okay, great. So the first thing I want to do is let you guys know that on the 19th, the next moon cycle starts. I'm so excited about it. One of the reasons I'm excited about it is because I'm a Pisces rising and a Virgo sun, and this is the cusp that I'm on. And so we're going to be doing the work of anchoring heaven into the earth realm. Anchoring heaven into the earth realm. What the fuck does that mean, right? So that means that we get to really begin to honor our own consciousness. Our own internal world as heaven, because we are God in our own reality. We are God in our own reality. So everything that we are right here, right now, creates heaven and hell. So heaven is created by a state of consciousness, a frequency, and hell is created by a state of consciousness and a frequency. So with Pisces as the full moon, we get to usher in our subconscious power. With Virgo, with the new moon, we're going to plant the seeds to really anchor in our earthly desires, our earthly way of being, our earthly call. And so this work next month is going to be so exciting. And when we work with the new and full moons, we're always seeding and harvesting every month. So the new moon is where we're seeding and the full moon is where we're harvesting. And so I just love this work. So I want to invite you guys to come and participate. It starts on August 19th. In the class, you will receive the private group that I'm in. You will receive the rituals, the support, the astrological rituals and daily support that I offer so that you can understand how to use the phases of the moon, so that you can understand the rituals and the practices that go with the phases of the moon. And then also, how it applies to your personal astrology, right? Because you want to understand it from a personal perspective so that you can know that your alignment is always happening through your personal astrology. Your personal alignment occurs, you get to it through your own personal astrology. And we all are having a new and full moon every month somewhere in our astrology. So you will focus on the new and full moon in your own astrology as it applies to the Pisces Virgo axis, and the rituals that I support you with and that we all do together in the community. What it does is it drives the energy, and we drive the energy together to create what it is that we desire. Oh, and it is it's magical and it's fun and it works. And the reason that I do this work, honestly, is because when I was a little girl, I was a Christian, and I really believed in magic. So when they were like, pray and it's given, and if you do this and it'll make magic, and Jesus walked on water, I believed all of that stuff because all of that stuff has truth in it. All of it has truth in it. It's not given to us. It wasn't given to me in the way that actually made it realistic, but it all has truth in it. And I was just very drawn to the mystery and the miracles and the mythology. And then when I started understanding it, I realized that it didn't work. It wasn't practical. It didn't work. And the reason it didn't work was because we were told to project our power onto a deity outside of us. And the moment we do that, our power collapses. We cannot sustain a frequency into an illusion, into a lie, right? And the lie is that the power is outside of you. The lie is that you're nothing without Jesus. You are a sinner. That is the lie. The lie is that there is a human being who could possibly be greater than you. It's not possible. It is not possible for anyone to be greater than you are in your own life. No being has more power in your life than you. And so the way they tripped us up with Christianity was by giving us this idea that there was another being that had more power in our own existence than we did. And so the work that I have created really helps us drive our own power and understand how it's creating our existence and how it relates to the cosmos and the elements. And it's just amazing, y'all. I just love it so much. It is amazing. All right. So with that, you guys can register in my link tree, or you can register at my website at MoniqueRuffin.com. And we are doing the work to really drive the energy. Okay, but let's talk about what's going on right now, because this energy right now is so intense, you guys. We are in the last days of the Leo sun. And if you have not gotten really clearly in the last year or so that you are creating your life from within you, I hope that you are getting it, because we are creating these motherfucking realities. And it's hard to get when you're creating things that you don't like or that don't feel aligned to who you are, because that can create victimization. But when we understand how the system works, the light comes through the subconscious and it projects, right? It does and it projects like a film projector. Your subconscious is being projected into this reality through your energetic frequency, through your energies and the things you say yes to and the things you agree to and the things that, the system is putting, you are projecting the reality. So I had this experience today that was so fascinating, because the sun is in Leo. And when the sun is in Leo, there's a lot of sensual, sexual, creative energy. There's a lot of romantic heart energy. Leo is the beginning of romance, y'all. But it's that innocent, pure romance. It's that like children. It's that heart. That's what the Leo energy is. And so when I've been really intentional on working to create the reality that I desire, and understanding that I have dominion over this reality, that I'm not subject to it. So I can hold a frequency, because it's really about a frequency. I might say, I want to have an experience of this. I want to have an experience of getting a new purse that looks a certain way, but I have to hold the frequency of that, right? So I've been really working on holding the frequency. And one of my challenges has been that my heart has not been open. Why? Because I grew up in a family where whatever it is, all this sort of stuff. But really, because it's Leo, my particular reason my heart has not been open is because the misuse of sexuality in my environment, in the space that I was born into, and how I took it on in a negative way, right? So, I want to talk about this in a way that makes sense. So I'll share with you guys that my mother was a prostitute and my father was a pimp. And how I witnessed that was that my mother's sexuality was always on stage. My mother's sexuality was always up for negotiation. My father could control it and do, and she was in performative mode always. It was always about my mother's sexuality and how my father was fucking manipulating and controlling it. And so what I saw as a child was that my mother didn't own herself, that she had to be performative, that she couldn't her pleasure wasn't about her. Everything she did was about the masculine. And it's really a trip, because as we're in this conversation lately around, men saying, how come women need to be subservient and how come they're not? Like, my mother was subservient. Oh God. And it was beautiful. I'm telling y'all, she was a ghetto geisha. And it was gorgeous, and she cooked and cleaned, and she smoked and drank beer, and she fucked and sucked, and it was a gorgeous thing. It was gorgeous. It was really exquisite from this ghetto perspective of her sensuality and her sexuality and how she used it to serve men. It was beautiful. It was amazing. It was. But she didn't have shit left for herself. Nothing was left for her. And because it was a misuse, because it wasn't connected to love, and it was connected to servitude, and it was connected to ownership, and it was connected to masculine domination, they drained her. She was drained. It never served her. It never came back to her. It was always about them and him and out there and what they needed and how. It was never about the exquisite nature of what she could create, how it came out of her. That she was a creator, that she was an angel, that she was a sensual being, that it was not celebrated. It was lost on motherfuckers who didn't get it. And so that is what I was born into. And I have been really working to shift my own sexual nature into something that has value for me, that is valuable for me. So one of the things about our power as women, we have a lot of subconscious power, and it's wired into our central sexual energy. And if we don't hold it in the highest esteem, if we don't understand the value of what it really is doing, like, we know that it creates motherfucking people. We know that if we lay down without some sort of birth control, we're going to get pregnant. We know how powerful it is, but we haven't really learned the responsibility and really how powerful it is, right? Because it is your imagination. It is your desire. It is your worship. It's not just your sex. It's not just your vagina and fucking and it's not just that. It is your heart. It is your voice. It is all of this stuff. It's this energetic system that is creative no matter what. And if we don't understand what it is, I have seen in my own experience that I would just allow a man to make it be something that really is bastardizing it. Like, men that I know, I'm not sure about all men, but the men that I know and the men that I've seen in the world, they don't understand what it is. So it just feels good. And so they just want to do what they do. They just want to own it and dominate it and make it be their pleasure, because we don't know what it really is either. And so this morning I say to myself, okay, because I do these rituals where I pick up my son and I'm using my central sexual energy to create ritual, to build my reality, because our central sexual energy creates matter, because that's how we create humans. Humans are made of matter. The mother is the matter, right? I know I'm saying a whole lot of stuff, you guys, because it comes through me so quickly. But the mother is the matter. So I've been working on creating a matter, a reality that I really desire. So I've had to ask myself, what do I really, really want? And what I realize is I don't even know what I really, really want. So then it took me a year to get clear about what I really, really want. And now I'm clear. Okay, this is what I really, really want. And when a man comes, they feel that energy. The masculine feels that energy. And immediately their thing is sex. It's like sex, right? Sex. And so I was like, okay, so I projected this reality. Okay, I want to go pick up my son, and I want to pick him up for less money in a black Uber. And I order the car and I see the car that's coming, and in my imagination. And then sure enough, a black Uber is picking me up. And then the man, when he gets here, I swear to God, I get in the car. It's a Cadillac, right? I get in the car. He says, would you want me to turn on music? He turns on the music. He turns on Sarah Vaughan. The man starts singing. He literally starts singing to me. And I'm like, wow, this is interesting, because he's singing to me and he's seducing me. And I'm like, oh, the man is trying to seduce me. And I just was like, what is happening? So we go pick up my son, and he's still in this heavy seduction thing. And I'm just in the moment. Like, I've had some time to think about it now, but I'm realizing there's this heavy seduction thing going on. And he's really working it, and it's thick as fuck. And my kid is in the car, and it's awkward. And so we drop my son off. My son is almost late to school. We get there, we are late. I have to go take him in another way. By the time I get back into the car, he's like, I saw your legs. Were you flirting with me? And I said to him, I'm just trying to get my son to school. But I realize in it, I'm like, oh, I created this. This is my creation. So I'm trying to really reorganize it in it. It's like I'm reorganizing the creation while I'm in it, by feeling what's going on inside of me. And I'm heavily resistant. I'm like so resistant. So I start talking to him in truth. I start saying to him, you're being really seductive. Like, this energy is really seductive, and this is not the order of things. Like, I understand that you feel really attracted to me, but this is not the order. Like, this is not where my focus is right now. And then I start talking to him about cosmology, and he falls right in step with me. He's talking about, this is a brother too. He's talking about what we need to do to evolve and ascend, and like he really, and I'm like, fuck, like it's like blowing my mind. And so he's on step, and then we're driving and we're getting back to my house, and he starts seducing again. And I say to him, thank you so much. Thank you so much for, this. And then he's like, okay, and let me give you my card and come give me a hug. And at some point he even touched me, and I was like, realizing, like, you have choice here. You have choice here. You don't have to give him a hug. In the past, you would have given him a hug because you felt like it, because you felt like you had to. In the past, you would have done it, but you have dominion here. You don't have to do anything. So literally, I take his card. I say, thank you. He says, no, you're going to come over here and give me. I said, what's your sign? He said, I'm a Leo. I said, you're a Leo. Okay. I take his card. I laugh that he's a Leo. I'm like, in the heart. Okay, I get it. I see the universe sending me and I say to him, I'll give you a hug another time. Thank you very much. I get out of the car and I go. Woo! And I come in the house and I relax and I get clarity. Because I'm really working on creating the reality that I desire. And what I know is that in the creation, you have to take the old patterns and renew them. The old patterns have to be renewed and readjusted. You don't just walk out of them like, fuck that. Like, so all the times we're like, I ain't fucking with that person no more. And you got to outgrow that shit, y'all. You got to outgrow it. You don't get to just say, I don't like that or I don't want that, because you're always projecting the reality. The reality is the things that you're experiencing your own subconscious. You're experiencing your own truth in another person. And what that experience just taught me was that I am really, really, really close right now, because we are in this Leo season. And I have been really working to transmute this energy in a deep way out of this experience of being subjected to things that I feel like are out of my power, but they're not out of my power. I just am afraid of my power or disconnected from my power, so it shows up like they're things that are outside of my power. And if I can really claim that I am the generator of the reality and that nothing is happening but that it has come through my subconscious, then I can alchemize it. But you got to be doing the rituals, and you got to be in, and then the universe just, right? So I had a powerful experience today, and we are and Mercury rules the day. And Mercury is the messenger. And so everything that's happening through this day is a message that is coming from your subconscious to you to see where you are, what's going on with you, what's happening. And the best thing we can do is own everything that's happening as our creation. This is my creation. How am I creating it? Why am I creating it? So I got to see, I just met this man in this vehicle. This man would have had sex with me in the back of the car if I would have been, I'm telling you, it was heavy, y'all. It was heavy. It was, the energy was intense. He was putting it on. He was singing. And I literally was like, what is going on? And what I had to work with was you're transmuting, like you have this sexual energy that that has been misused because you have believed that you don't own yourself. You know, as Black women, oh my gosh, as Black women, we've come through this experience here in this country, and you see what they do to our bodies, right? The music, you know, the slave trade. Like, we have not had dominion over our bodies. Our bodies have not belonged to us. Our bodies have belonged to men. They have belonged to people. I remember, sorry, I'm talking so. I was having lunch with a girlfriend of mine a couple of years ago, and she was 64 years old, and she said that at 64 she had every man who wanted to have sex with her, she had said yes to them because she felt like she had to. And I was like, whoa. She was 64, and she was trained, conditioned to believe that her body belonged to men. And this is this conversation that women should submit to men, and women, this stuff is an illusion. It's not true, y'all. We own ourselves. We don't have to serve anybody. We don't have to do nothing we don't fucking want to do. And if we don't get it, if we don't give ourselves the permission to own ourselves, to love ourselves, to be enough for ourselves, if we don't give ourselves permission, the whole reality is fucked up because of that. Because if the creator of the reality doesn't understand that they are the creator of the reality and have dominion over your fucking own energy, then everybody just comes and takes and dominates you, and we'll never, that's why the world is out of control. Because why are men doing what they're doing, and white men, and why? Because we have not set a boundary. It's us, y'all. We have not said, fucking stop it, leave me alone, no more, I don't want it, I don't need it. We have not, we're in our minds going, what am I going to do if he doesn't? What if it is going to happen? What am I never going to? We're in our minds bargaining our soul's energy for lesser than what we are. That's what we're doing. That's why that man felt like he could just be whatever because I'm sending out a signal that says, you can just come and do whatever you want. I'm sending out that signal. Have your way with me. I send out that signal. It's an energetic People can't treat us different than we're energetically projecting. Would your old ways and what you were taught growing up in your parents' household think you would have to have sex with him? I would think, I don't know that I would think I would have to have sex with him, but I would think I really would have thought I had to hug him. Like when he said, "Come give me a hug," there was a part of me that felt like a 6-year-old girl that was like, "Let me get out of the car and go give him a hug." Yeah, I felt like that. And I felt myself go, "You don't have to give this motherfucker a hug. He's going to take his $68 that the Uber is going to pay him. You're going to take his card and you're going to work this out." Like here's what I do know. This shit is fun. When I take control of it and understand that I am an energetic being emitting an energetic frequency and that everything in my life is energetically my creation, when I get that, God is so good. Sometimes it freaks me out, but most of the time it's like, oh, okay, I'm creating. Okay. And the more I clear the trauma and the disbeliefs and the sadness and the despair and the confusion, because that becomes a part of it. Everything is here. And the more I clear it and make peace with those things, whoa, what starts to show up, y'all, is so much fun. It's really, really fun. Because like I said, this morning, the Uber was going to cost $137. And I said, Spirit, I do not want to pay $137. What should I do? I went and scrolled through the thing and it said this comfort. I was like, okay, press comfort, $68. A Camry hybrid was coming and I felt some kind of way about that. I was like, I want like a big black car. And then the Camry hybrid canceled and then a big black car came. And he was in the big black car. This is all a part of the magic, you guys. What I'm saying is that I'm starting to get to the place where I can project what I desire into the reality intentionally in the subtlest of ways and rewire it real time. Now, what came back to me was a projection of where I am in myself, because here's the thing, we're always going to get who we are. You're always going to get who we are. So I got the big black car, but in it was somebody who's like, trying to do something else. Vashawn, are you trying to be on the app with me? You trying to have a conversation? Yes, we're built. Because if you are, then say so. Yes, it's amazing. So, and the more we clear and the more we do the work, the more we can project exactly what we desire. Exactly. And and it's always changing and it's multi-layered and it's all these, it's a whole lot of stuff going on. So but it's fun and it's a game and it's playful and it's amazing. And I realize that there's nothing for me to fear because I'm not creating things that are out to get me. I'm just creating things that are here to help me grow, help me evolve, help me become more of myself. And everything I create is here to serve me into my evolution. So I don't have to be afraid of anything because I know that that's my contract with myself. All right, y'all. So Mercury is our perception, the stories we tell ourselves, the realities we project. So look at what you're experiencing in your life, see the stories you're telling yourself about it, and then you understand how you're creating it because it's coming out of you. The moon today is in Taurus. Taurus is about our value, our money, our work, our wealth, our things, right? And so Taurus and Leo, it's literally this month is about us leveling up. This is a month of leveling up if you're doing the work. If you're doing the work, this is the month for you to level up into who you really are, into your true essence and your power and your gifts. what they express like, what they feel like. And that is that. All right, you guys, the 13 moons class for the new moon in Virgo, full moon in Pisces starts on the 19th. That's Friday. Today is Wednesday. Yes, our sensuality and our pleasure is really key. And so this Virgo energy is going to help us organize. You got to organize your energy. If you don't organize your energy, it's just chaos. Like, that's the thing that I see that men do really well, because they tend to organize their emotions in a way that women don't. And you have to. That's what I didn't know. You have to organize your emotions, and you have to find a way to do it that works for you. And that's what this moon work is, you guys. It helps you organize your emotions through the rituals. The rituals hold the container of your emotions so that you can put your emotions in the direction, like what it is. You have to learn to push everything in the direction of what your desire is. Your fear has to go in the direction of your desire. Your chaos has to go in the direction of your desire. Your love has to go in the direction of your desire. Everything has to be going in the same direction. And when it does, it manifests through the material realm. And that's what I teach you guys how to do in the moon work. All right. Peace and blessings, everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.